to Division 3 we go. This one, my goodness, heavyweight title fights in both of the semifinal matchups. First game we got, number 1, Mount Carmel, Wesleyan and them boys taking on number 4, Ramona. Other side of the bracket, we got number 2 versus number 3 in Mater Dei Catholic and Santa Fe Christian. Both of those teams undefeated. Guys, I think we can run it back to our pre-season sort of maybe week 2 or 3 league look, not league, the division look aheads that we were doing. And we got this one wrong. We all thought that this was pretty much just Mater Dei's bracket to win, and it was going to be a wash. The rest of it, these are two great. This might be the best of the semifinal matchups. That first one with Mount Carmel and Ramona. Tommy Morris, what's your take on this?
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. Ramona was a really impressive win last week. I believe I called that, if I'm not incorrect. But Mount Carmel, with the exception of some of the kids in Mater Dei, potentially has the best player in this bracket, Virgin. But I like Ramona in this one. I think it's going to be really, really close. I like what Mount Carmel's got going on. I think that there's a program headed in the right trajectory. But I think this is Ramona's year to get to the final. So I like the Bulldogs.
Bodie De Silva from Scorebook Live. You like an upset here as well?
Yeah, so I picked Mount Carmel before. I'll stick with that. But, man, like the way Ramona's been playing last week, beating a team by 50 that came in undefeated, they're clearly doing something correct there. So I think it's really close, but I'll stick with Mount Carmel. That was my pre-bracket pick.
Yeah, I would be remiss to deviate from the Mount Carmel pick as well, but it certainly is pretty terrifying when you look at it, and it's by 52-0, and then they're into the semis. It's a pretty flawless last 2 weeks worth of football for Ramona. 1 through 4, sometimes you roll your eyes at it. Nothing to roll your eyes at. Like, this has played out beautifully, and these are the games that people want to see. This is amazing, I think, for the section in terms of its depth to not just be, all right, let's get to open. Let's talk about that game. This is great. I want to stay here and focus on this for a while, because the next one we have is a pair of small schools. Mater Dei Catholic, the 2 seed, they get it done 55-0 against El Cap last week. Santa Fe Christian wins in a nail biter 38-35 against Brawley. 2 big schools on the other side of the bracket, 2 small schools on this side of the bracket. Who's going to be the undefeated team that moves on from this second game? Bodie De Silva?
Yeah, I'm going to go Mater Dei. I had them facing Mount Carmel for several weeks now, but I think for Santa Fe Christian, they survived last week, and they've got to find a way to run the ball, because if they can, then keep the clock moving, keep it lower scoring. That's the only way I really see them surviving here, because if they're a team that if they get down 2-3 touchdowns early, the way their offense is, they're just not going to be able to come back in that game.
Tommy, your thoughts on Santa Fe Christian's chances here?
Yeah, this might be the end of the run for Santa Fe Christian. The only chance they have is if they run the ball and run the clock and try to limit possessions. If they want to win, they got to take up all 40 of the play clock. And again, like I just said, have as few possessions as possible. They're facing a defense that's going to be able to stop the rushing attack, unfortunately for them. And that's pretty much the way that they've been surviving. I kind of call them like a cathedral light almost. It's the same thing where they run that offense. You got to be super disciplined to stop them. But this is a Mater Dei team that's very, very good, very well coached, and to be very tough to beat unless you play an absolute perfect ball game. So I like Mater Dei in this one. I think they'll win by about 20 points or so. But again, I don't want to take anything away from what Santa Fe Christian's done this year. Incredible season for Eagles, And I think that they're just unfortunately running into a juggernaut, a team that realistically could compete in any division in San Diego.
I think it's interesting you make these qualifying statements of if they're going to do it, they're going to need to control the ball and run and stay disciplined and all this. And as I'm thinking of it, I'm like, there is literally no team in San Diego you would think of more than Santa Fe Christian when you're making the descriptive adjectives of all the things that a team would need to do to beat Mater Dei Catholic. So, Tommy, I think you're absolutely wrong in terms of this being a rout. I think it's a low scoring game. I think it's a quick, like this is going to be a tight 90. Like this game is going to be played very fast because the ball is going to stay in play. The clock's going to keep moving. I think Mater Dei ends up winning, but by less than a touchdown. I think that Santa Fe Christian gets a ton of respect for the victory here, and that this one ends up being a lot closer than a lot of people think it'll be.